Okay, welcome back to episode 14 of the I Already Knew podcast. We haven't reached our goals yet, but we wanted to hopefully inspire you guys to just chase your dreams and do the same thing. So that's why we're putting this out here. We've got a epic guest today. This guy has toured Australia in his comedy trio, Sons of Fred. He's a CrossFit weapon now. He's been on Ninja Warrior Australia, and he's just an all-round good dude. We got Dave Fox here.
Yo.
Good to see you, bro.
Oh yeah, good man. Yeah, good to be here. Love the setup, man. It's sick.
It's been a long time coming, so we've wanted to have you on for a minute, and we finally got it working. We're in a new place, and yeah, man. I don't know where I want to start. There's a bit to kind of unpack here. Yeah. Where did we first meet? Let's go with that.
Red Dust.
Yeah. Obstacle course race. Yeah.
Down in Kareem.
Yeah.
And
yeah, true. We were so close for that race.
We were close, and then tore my bicep tendon.
Yep. Yeah.
How was recovery? That wasn't at the race. Was that after?
It was there was signs leading up to the race that there was something wrong.
Yeah.
But I never ever would have thought it was a tendon injury though.
And we were like 50 meters, not minutes, 50 meters from the end of the race.
Yeah.
And we were right next to each other swinging on monkey bars. And he'd come off and just gone, I tore my bicep. And I was like, fuck. And I kept going. And then he keeps coming up behind me. So you were still chasing me with a torn bicep. Then we got to climb up this cargo net. And then there was one more after that. But the cargo net, I remember you just slogging up it.
I was just like one arming it.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do the sloth rig, was it? I tried and I heard it tear a bit more.
Yeah.
So I had to do 20 burpees. And then the cargo net and then another 20 burpees. And we were both burping on that last because you fell as well on the on the letter rig.
On the letter rig.
Yeah, and then Cam swung past us all. And then you were like one burpee ahead of me or something.
Yeah. So I ended up getting third and you were fourth.
I was fourth, yeah.
And then since then, that's actually where I got all that passion from for OCR. Because I was like, damn, like these guys are weapons. And I felt cool to be a part of that, you know?
Yeah.
So then after that, really ever since then, I was like, I remember telling my roommate at the time, Tyrone, I was like, I'm going to train hard for this and see how I go on the next one.
Yeah.
You know? And I think I came second or third on the next one and then ended up winning them from there. But it was that first one that lit the fire in my belly, you know? It got me
just
cranking.
that no quit mentality. Hey, that's crazy. There you go.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Explain that tear. Was it just like you obviously see like the stereotypical like Instagram gym thing where it just curls up, right?
Yeah, I've had people ask like what it feel like, and the best way I can describe it is like Velcro. So it feels like Velcro, and like your arm like extends like Go Gadget arm.
Yeah.
So you've probably seen it in, I don't know, some people might have seen it on YouTube and stuff. It's a common injury for people that do like real heavy easy bar curls or like strongman with the stones or bad deadlifts.
Yeah.
But the full rupture will go right, like it will bounce up, whereas mine was just a little bit.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
Lucky, thankfully.
Yeah, well,
they're just holding on, right?
With the surgery, they have to snip it anyway. But if it's at first, like they're like, oh, it's just a bicep strain. I'm like,
nah.
You just know, when you know. And I was like, no, that's not a bicep.
And so we met each other through the OCR world and all that.
Yeah.
But then I went to one of your comedy shows.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hold on a second. Like this was a whole nother side of you that I never knew.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Sons of Fred.
Yeah.
Comedy trio.
And
how long have you guys been doing stuff for?
Yeah, man. So we all connected back. Well, my best mate and I, Sly, we were mates since year 2, so primary school.
Yeah.
So we've always he's like a brother to me, really. So we grew up together through primary, high school, when we met Mickey J in high school doing the Rock of Stedford. I don't know if you guys all know to know
No.
what Rock of Stedford is, but yeah, it's like a big kind of high school, I guess, production.
Yeah.
And we were all part of that.
Yeah.
Mick was always a good dancer, so he was like the lead role, and we met him through that, and then we formed a boy band.
Yeah.
Called White Shadow.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is like going back like 90s.
Bit like Gravity Killers, bro. I had this parkour group. Yeah,
97, I think it was. 97 we started that. And then, yeah, man, we continued on with the singing and did a little bit of Motown. There was 4 of us at the time, like 4-part harmony group. Went to barbershop, learnt like proper harmony skills, things like that. And then one of the guys kind of, was getting a bit more busy, like got married, had a kid, and it was getting a bit too busy for him. And the rest of us were more into the theatrics and being pretty much being dickheads.
Yeah.
So we took, so we're like, let's try comedy.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
then from 2010ish, I think.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
about 13 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Been doing the comedy.
I don't know what kind of comedy you would call it, but I've always thought of it as like sus humor. That's what I call it. And it's like,
Sus humour.
I'm sure you've got another name for it.
I've
but
never heard that.
I love it, bro. I love
Yeah.
it where it's just like, you just have a play on, you know, being a bit frisky with your mates and doing all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
which used to be so like, you can't do that. Like that's gay. You know,
Yeah.
you can't do that. But now I love that is just a sense of humor that people can do, and
Yeah.
you can express that to people, and it's not gay and it's not weird. It's just funny as fuck.
It's just sus.
Yeah, it's just sus. It's so funny.
I guess, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like three dudes on stage kind of rubbing off on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At times.
Which I was so taken aback at first,
Yeah.
bro. But
So I
then
guess
that
that's
was
the point of it, right? It's like
Exactly.
you think seeing it like that is what adds that level to
yeah,
it.
because all we've done, like I knew you were fun and you were funny and stuff, but then we'd always just done workouts together. So we're always
Yeah.
just talking about, what can we do with our running and how can we get better at this and that sort of stuff. And then I go to a show and he's full, like, stripped his shirt off. He's run up to one of his mates and they've caught him standing like this in a lunge position.
Nice.
And he's like this. And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Where are
blew
you
my
performing
mind,
the
bro.
shows?
Mainly the Comedy Lounge in the city.
Yeah.
And they got one in Fremantle now.
Cool.
And you're selling, like, how many tickets do you sell? Depends, I guess, from show to show.
Yeah, well, the Comedy Lounge usually sells out,
Yeah.
but they usually always sell out. So
Yeah.
they got the headline and there's an
Nice.
MC and there's
Yeah.
like 3 other comedians.
Yeah.
And then we do like our own shows for Fringe and comedy festivals, and
Yeah.
they usually sell out too, especially in Perth because we've got a good fan
Yeah.
base here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done Adelaide Fringe like 3 times, Melbourne, Sydney, Edinburgh 1 year.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been around.
great.
Are you going to keep going around Australia? Or you
Yeah,
kinda-
well, we haven't travelled since COVID,
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
but we haven't really written a brand new show since then either. So that's kind of literally what we've been talking about the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
We text and like have constant ideas going
Yeah.
back
Yeah,
and forth.
yeah.
So yeah, that's literally what we're about to start.
Put it all
is a
together.
new
Cool.
show
Yeah.
and have a plan, hopefully by
Oh,
by
I'm down,
Fringe
bro. I'm there.
to have a new show.
That's
So
really cool. That'd be cool to
We've gotta go
see that.
sometime,
Yeah,
bro.
fact. That'd
Yeah.
be sick.
Come
So
down and watch
start
it.
off with music for you, and
Yeah.
then obviously then into the comedy with that group.
Mhm.
When did fitness? Where was fitness in between that?
So yeah, I've always loved fitness. I grew up, playing sports. Probably mainly just like local footy club kind
Yeah.
of, and
Yeah.
I guess I was pretty good, kind of more of a gut runner kind of player. I always had
Yeah.
that kind of mental strength.
Yeah, yeah.
That group mentality sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was kind of like my strength. Like I wasn't the best kick
Yeah, that's
for
so
distance,
funny to say that. Yeah.
but
But you just keep running and keep
but I was a
showing
good
up.
runner.
Yeah.
Like I was good skills. Like
They put you in the midfield and centre half back line then.
Still midfielder, and I played like in the league side, like through amateurs and things like that, and then. But I always loved music more.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was always priority, and then I broke my fibula playing 1 year. I don't know, just injuries in sport affect
Yeah,
music as
especially
well.
footy. Like I've had 2 knee surgeries and again, so
Yeah.
that takes me out of doing any footy again.
Yeah.
Once you start kind of realizing. So now I'm more in the gym myself. You're more that music and the comedy.
Yeah.
There's just so much risk for what reward almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most thing I was worried about was probably like guitar, like breaking
True.
fingers, hands, wrists, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, that can happen in any. I
Yeah.
mean, like it happened.
Doing any sport.
I
Yeah.
had a bloody ruptured tendon.
Yeah.
I did my meniscus on stage of all places, of all the crazy shit that I do.
Did ya?
I was doing like the dance in Sons of Fred, and
Yeah.
my meniscus went.
Damn.
And there was obviously something leading up to that because it was having a clicking issue for a
Yeah.
while.
It was already, yeah.
But I thought it would go climbing or doing ninja, but
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
dancing on stage.
Yeah.
Nice. Just add to the act.
Yeah.
And
Like
where
you're
was-
really performing this
where-
pain well.
Where was ninja and all of that? It was like
Yeah. So
footy and then ninja, right?
so it was
Yeah.
footy, and then I did calisthenics for a year, so bodyweight
Yeah,
training.
yeah.
Learned that's how I learned the flags and the slow muscle ups, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where I got a lot of my strength from. And then I went to a one of those conventions, like fitness conventions, what they call them,
Yeah.
expos,
Yeah.
fitness expos.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was a little ninja set up there,
Yeah.
and it was, I think they were only like in their second year at Ninja Academy, and they had like a little race thing with a little warp wall.
Oh, it was actually Dave from Ninja Academy
Yeah.
set up there. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Sick.
And so I was like, this looks pretty cool. So I had a go, and like instant bicep tendonitis, like. But I
Yeah.
was like, I love this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they had like a special, so I went down to Ninja Academy, and as soon as I got there, I was like,
This is
Nice.
sick.
Yeah.
That was me as well.
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
because I don't know, I think there's. And then I ended up meeting some of the best friends I've ever met. I think it's just like-minded people
Yeah. Yeah.
that just want something different than just your regular gym workouts. Like,
well, it is so diverse, isn't it? And when you've got that like visionary, that open mindset, you've got an open course in front of you, it just like links the two together almost. From what I see on the outside.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's just so much that goes into it. Hey, like you can be, like said, the best calisthenics guy ever, but if you're not utilising your body weight and your momentum transfer, your energy transfer,
hand-eye coordination.
But then same thing goes for
so
like
much.
other kids that have got the best hand-eye coordination, the best energy transfer, but they're not strict strength. And then some people have all of that, but then they haven't got the brain for it. And like, it's just
so
it's crazy.
much goes into it.
It's a harsh sport.
It is. It's a really harsh sport. Hey,
you're 4, you're done. You know, you can you can spend years. I mean, the show's not really a good example because it's a lot of that. It's a lot about your sub stories.
Yeah,
but you can train for years, and then you get there, and there's an obstacle that you can't really train.
Yeah.
Something random, and then it's happened to heaps of my good friends.
Yeah.
And then you fall and you're done. You're like, oh.
Yeah, which they probably do on purpose because it's TV, and they're like,
100%.
They're like, they've come off on this one. We never expected it, and they want something that you didn't expect, and it's heartbreaking. Yeah. But then the reality is, it's a heartbreaking sport. So then you're like, fuck. To be on the other side of that, you're like, oh.
And it's it's definitely challenged some people too, like mentally after like the show. Yeah. To like get not maybe borderline depressed, like
getting there and not getting that reward and then falling off from that.
Well,
it's almost hitting that peak, right? And then something so small you weren't expecting just takes it away.
And you just think like, for example, like this is not as on bigger of a scale, but there was a NCL comp in Melbourne, which is kind of like, I guess, not quite the show, but another tournament, another ninja tournament. And I completed all the obstacles in stage 2, but I dabbed my foot on the first obstacle, and they still let you complete in NCL, so even if you fail you keep going. And I literally, like, Matt is here, and I've dabbed my foot maybe a foot behind it, and then gone and completed everything else. And I was just so down on myself because I was like, I've done all this training to be so good at all of this, but the foot's just touched the ground and you're out. That's it.
Question to that: when you hit your foot that first one, the rest of that run, are you thinking about that there?
Yeah, for sure.
Like you especially get to the end, you're like, everything was good, but at the start.
But also then I'm probably performing better at through the rest of it because you're like, I'm done. I might as well just do what I can do, and then you actually
become more relaxed in a way,
better in the rest of it because you're like, I'm just going to flow through it. And a lot of ninja is like energy transfer, where if you're like super tense like this and you're trying to swing to something, you're just going to cook it.
Yeah 100%.
There you go.
But it's a cool sport, and it should be coming back next year, I think, right?
I heard the show is coming back. I'm too heavy for it now. CrossFit 10 kilos in 10 months roughly.
How much does Ben weigh?
I don't know. Well, he's fully into his CrossFit now.
He is, but he's like, what, when he won the show, 90 kilos, wasn't
he? Yeah, he probably was. Yeah,
round
but
about.
also very
big,
tall
long
and
boy.
lanky.
Yeah. But I'm keen to give that a crack. So shout out Ninja Warrior if you're watching, get me on there.
No shit.
I'll host.
Yeah. You can be on the mic.
Yeah,
imagine that.
I love that.
That'd be so much fun.
I'd love to be on there.
Commentating that. Can you hear the commentators when you're running the course?
Not really. It's kind of like when you run a run at Ninja or whatever. You can, but you don't really hear everyone because you're kind of zoned.
Zoned out.
So you hear things, but you almost don't even remember the run.
You're locked in.
Yeah.
So locked in.
It's so like.
Would you have that adrenaline going? I guess. Hey, you do
just
zone in.
Yeah.
Find you get that'd be like, I can relate it back to scooter riding, right? Having competitions and that. I remember like some of my first comps. I am somehow landing my tricks, but I can't feel my body. I'm in such as like lucid state. I can't feel my hands. Everything's happening, but I like just so much adrenaline, right? I couldn't imagine that for ninja, where you're trying to jump and like say me doing a bar spin, I can kind of like navigate through it. Right flip, I can navigate through it. But like jumping, grabbing onto stuff, if you're just adrenaline rush and numb, man, that'd be intense.
Yeah,
that'd be like hectic, like not just physically but mentally, and there's that state.
Mentally, I think what people don't see is I was on season 2. And they're pretty new, so it was really long days. We were on like an island in Sydney somewhere, and you're there all day, and you're doing like videos, and you're doing like intro walks, and you're doing like questions and interviews.
Yeah.
And then they don't start filming until the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And then there's the audience participation, and there's just all this production that goes on in between, and some people aren't running till like 2-3 in the morning.
Right.
And I was one of those, so I was like, I think I was third or second last to run.
Yeah.
And what was even worse for me, I was getting ready. I was like there. I'm like, okay, I'm next. And then just before when I saw the red light flash and someone had fallen, they're like, oh no, sorry, we're just going to get this guy to go before you. So
Yeah.
I already kind of prepped, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
here we go, I'm ready, let's go.
Adrenaline done.
And then boom.
Yeah,
Like, and that's after all the waiting, all that,
Yeah,
and then
like,
it's like,
all that build up, then fatigue comes in because you're getting tired by that point.
yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
man.
it was,
Yeah, that's a slog. It's
It
more
was-
than just a course, hey?
Yeah.
it's such a
So much more.
mental.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to people that are doing that. Like I watch a lot of UFC, and I see it with that. A lot of them aren't fighting till like late at night, sort of thing. On top of that, traveling the world, you go into Sydney yourself. I just couldn't imagine, like, again, me just thinking back to that younger self at a local little Bridgetown skate park comp, let alone lights, cameras,
Yeah.
people. You know what I mean? Like that is such a
So many
heightened
people.
feeling compared to that standard thing I went through. So it's just credit to yourself for doing that. Credit to anyone doing that.
Yeah.
How do you go with, because what I really admire about you as well is the way that you pivot from different disciplines and things. When you get discouraged in something, is that where you start to pivot, or you just kind of go with where your interests are going and you just follow whatever happens? Because you've gone from so many things, bro, you know, to ninja, to comedy, and you've always just kind of been, you know, a bit like me, where I just like to say yes to a lot of things and try them out. Is that what you think it is, or you think it's...
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I think, like with Red Dust to start with, obviously I had that injury, and I was so focused on podium,
Yeah.
you know, for that. So I was like, I'm not gonna stop doing this until I podium.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. I'm very stubborn that way.
Yeah.
In like, if I want to achieve something, I'm going to give it
Yeah.
everything. And you know, we train really hard, and then I had that nerve injury. So
Yeah.
I'm the king of weird injuries. So I had
Yeah.
a like drop foot where I couldn't lift my foot, and
Yeah, yeah.
ended up still doing the trifecta with drop foot, and
Did it anyway.
Did it
Did
anyway.
30Ks with like a nerve issue in
That's
your foot,
unreal.
bro. Yeah.
It's a testament to that no quit mindset.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I remember like mentally I became so much stronger from that, but I also remember breaking down after it because, you know, I saw Sam and Tash, like, who I trained with the whole time, crush it and win every like event.
Yeah.
So it was like super happy time for me to see that happen for them, but then it was super late. I was like, you know, I should have been up there with them, you know.
Yeah.
So I was still determined to come back from that, and then eventually I did, and then came second in the
How good,
in the Red
bro.
Dust, and
That's probably one of my fondest memories.
I can't
of
remember
OCR
who
as
beat
well.
me. Is it? Oh, that's right.
That's why it's fun his memory. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I remember
They
that.
could have let me win.
Yeah, like let him have this comeback sort of thing. That's nuts. Like Sam's like, nah, fuck him, I'm on.
Tash comes over the finish line as well, and I was like, Tash, I won. And she's like looking around, she's like, where's Fox? Where's Fox? She was like, what did Fox get? I was like, you got second. She was like, yes.
Yeah.
So happy
That
for
just
you,
shows
bro.
that power of that community. That's wicked.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And
That was
sometimes
good.
that's actually better than the first is the loss, go again, loss, go again,
Oh, man.
and then podium. You know,
Story, right?
sometimes that is
And
more powerful than
Yeah.
just one.
And even the way I did it, like even I'm glad that, you know, Carl was in that race.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was almost settled for like a third-ish kind of position. I was pretty comfortable in third, and then I saw that Carl was doing burpees on one of the obstacles.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck, like if I go here, I could probably,
Could be
I might
on.
be able to hold on,
Yeah.
you know, and then I was just like,
Yeah.
I was on then,
Yeah.
but I knew I had to go because he's
Coming.
So
coming.
You had to work for
I
it.
had to work hard,
Yeah.
and it was, you know, I remember coming into that last section again, and then everything started flooding back, like my injury, like all this, and I'm like, it's okay, you got this, like
Yeah.
you're strong again,
Yeah.
you know, just hold on. This is your jam, you know,
Yeah.
like all the obstacles.
Massive
Yeah.
composure to be like upheld there.
Yeah. So to hold myself together for that, and I think it was,
Sick.
it was they were definitely one of the best
That's
feelings
nuts.
for sure.
Such a fun
Not
race.
even to like let their like injury like just, you know, again, everyone, like for most people, would just flatten you, right? Especially when there's something there's go there, boom, you got an injury, like it can be taken away, like you work through what you can each day rather than folding, and then you get to that comp, and but you have it right there in front of your game while you've got nigglies, and it's just like, okay, like
I think that's the
holding
big
it
thing,
together.
it's just working with what you got, where
That's
a lot of
massive.
people, like, they tell themselves that they've lost before they've even started.
They start generating
You know?
those excuses
Mm.
rather than just gritting down.
Yeah, it definitely takes a mental switch to be like, no, hold on a second, like, you might have got injured in the past, but that doesn't mean that that's going to apply to this, and just do your best and see what happens. You know, sometimes that turns out better than you expected, you know, where you were happy with third, but now that you worked and you had that mindset, it put you in second, you know.
Yeah.
Put you up there.
Do you
Yeah.
think that mental switch is ingrained in you, or something you adapted, grew with, and like just learned to like, you know, take in and take on sort of thing?
I think I've always had it,
Yeah.
but yeah, it can definitely evolve and get stronger
Yeah.
as you go, for sure. And part of that's trying to stay positive and being around good people, which
Yeah.
you know,
That's
which
a big
always
one.
helps.
That's-
Circles everything for
Which
sure.
I've been lucky with, you know, through Ninja and now CrossFit and OCR.
Yeah.
You know, you were a big positive influence on me
Yeah,
as well.
let's
Always
go.
just keep moving, bro. Like
Yeah.
that was like
After
when you
something
beat
I
you in
always
that
remember
race.
you saying to me, just keep
Yeah,
moving.
man.
And that is the key to everything, is just to keep moving.
Yeah.
Keep showing up.
You
yeah.
know, even through my rehab, everyone was like climbing and ninjaing and doing stuff, and like I could have just been, you know, being a sook about it, but
Yeah.
I was there doing my rehab while everyone did their thing, just to be around
Yeah.
that kind of energy.
Yeah, he's still in the mix. Yeah.
You know, even when you guys did the Red Dust, I wasn't quite ready for. Like
Yeah.
I ran around filming these guys. You know, I was like running around with my,
That's it.
Yeah.
you know, just to
Just
be
keeping in it,
involved
yeah,
and keeping
yeah.
in it. And I think that's the key, man.
That would help your mindset so much.
Yeah.
You look
Yeah.
at the two parallel universes. You're in it, or if you're just at home.
Yeah.
And
It's
when
going to
you're
speed
at
up
home,
your
you're
recovery
just
so much
gonna-
faster, hey?
Correct.
Yeah.
And not even
Mental
speed up
and
your
physical.
recovery, but just help your head. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you get out of like when you're back into it, you kept in that zone. Like then you that momentum
Yeah.
would be unreal.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
that's a message for anyone, rather than just like sitting out of it. Like do what you can to keep in it.
Yeah.
Whether that is at the Ninja Academy, watching everyone do all this stuff you wish you could be doing, but you're just grateful to be there, rolling out and doing your rehabs.
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that.
Don't talk yourself out of it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so many people do it. They're like, oh no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like it needs this
Yeah, they do.
rest, or but it's like no, look at what you've got. Look
Yeah.
at the logical side of it,
Yeah.
and then if you really want to do it and you really want to be there, which you did, you wanted that OCR podium. You know, it's
Yeah.
like show up again.
Yeah.
And do it.
I guess it's kind of like if you
Yeah.
can't squat, box squat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
regressing that movement.
Yeah,
Doesn't
you
mean you
can't
have to
walk,
not
crawl.
go to the gym.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I was
So
going to say
true.
a big part of it. I think what's really healthy and is being happy for other people's successes as well as
Yeah.
your own.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
I think like the communities that we've been involved in, everyone's so supportive.
Yeah.
Like in Ninja,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, you want to win, but you're so like invested in everyone else doing well
How
as
someone
well.
else is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? And that's like, yeah, I love running around with you guys and
Yeah.
going, oh, let's go, no, you got this. You
Yeah.
know, like just
Yeah.
seeing you guys succeed.
I think of these, and this is why I've stayed in all these communities like OCR, Ninja.
Yeah.
A lot of the like music settings I put myself in with Lee. It's like it's a and community, not a all community. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Where a lot of other ones like I've heard with track running and a lot of Olympic sports, it's like it's an all community where it's like I have to win because if I win, if you win, that means that I can't. But in a lot of these sports, especially in music, it's like I can win and you can win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and even in Ninja, I guess it's technically not like that, but doesn't matter. The mindset's still the same, and same with OCR. Like most of the people I've met within OCR
Yeah.
are like, I can win and you can win as well, and it's just
Yeah.
like I don't really even care what the sport is. If that is there,
Yeah.
then it's like I'm down.
Yeah.
This is sick.
And just because you're not winning now doesn't mean you're not going to win then. Because it's their time now. You could choose to sit there and bash them down, or else pick them
100%.
up and build
That's it.
such a good relationship. And then next time around, you get them, and hey, like
Yeah.
it's all going good.
And like for you use that as fuel, you know,
Yeah,
like
100%.
you're like, I just took the L on this weekend, but you know, I'm super happy for these guys and I'm super keen to get back into training with them.
Yeah.
And if you didn't think that way, you're like, fuck, that sucks, you know, they beat me.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that at all. It was like, let's get back to it and
Yeah.
see what we can do.
It's crazy how much of that there is. If like people just because they're two, not one, like they'll just bash down that one, or even if like no matter where they are, like there is that, you know, which side are you that, you know, support everyone around you, like be happy for their wins, or else
Yeah.
bash them down for it.
Yeah.
It's
Which
always
is,
that
which is
hand or an all.
crazy to think, like, yeah, we're all, you know, going for the same thing, like share their successes, which is what you're chasing, like, yeah. It's something like that.
Facts.
Music's a big one for it, and I imagine sports. I remember back in the day, me and Liam Engel, you remember old Liam?
Yeah,
When
it's
I
like a
first-
school friend of ours.
When
yeah.
when I come to this new town, I was like getting like second and everything, and he'd always beat me next year. And again, I never was really in the stigma of like, oh, you know, I never had a negative thing. I love whether it's someone else with their music, someone else with their gym stuff, whatever it is. I want everyone to win
Yeah.
because I want people to want that for me.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's all it is. I want
Yeah,
people
yeah.
to want me to succeed. I want them to succeed because I want that for them. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
So year 6, he gets me and everything. Same with the school stuff. I'm like, you know, not
Yeah.
bottom barrel, but these boys are beating me. Next year, I come through and all of a sudden I have this like speed spurt. I'm just running quicker.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
jumping further. And, there was no like negative like stigma around them, but like yeah, again, like could have been two scripts of that.
Yeah.
Wanting me to fail versus wanting me to win sort of thing.
Facts, man. Yeah, you just kept pushing. And what about the songwriting, bro? You doing a lot of that kind of recently, bar the injury, but let's talk before that. We'll get into that. Yeah, songwriting, you've always just done acoustic stuff, right?
Yeah, always done acoustic. Was in cover bands kind of early 2000s.
Yeah.
Doing like Aussie rock covers and enjoyed that side of things. And then there's obviously a bit of music in Sons of Fred as well, which you know, when we started, we did have the guitar involved.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
right.
I used to have the guitar. But when we travelled, it just got a bit annoying because
It's another thing to add to
it's
the
another
mix,
thing to add,
isn't it?
you know. And then you'd finish like your show in say Adelaide, and then you'd have to go back to the hotel and then go out and kind of mingle with everyone. So
Makes it
we
tough.
ended up pre-recording a lot of the guitar tracks
Yeah.
now, so it's all it's all tracks now.
Click and
Which
play.
it's just easy. And,
Yeah. Dope.
But so, and I've always just written songs. I think it's another outlet for me, just to pretty emotional guy, you know.
Yeah. I feel you, bro. Absolutely.
But
feel
yeah,
you.
it was just a good outlet for me, and written, I don't know, like over 100 songs easy.
Yeah.
And then I just started trying to produce my own songs.
Yeah,
And just recently released one.
Yeah.
Who
on
were
Spotify.
who were inspirations for you, for generating that and having that drive to want to do that? Band wise, as a group, individually as yourself.
To do music, pursue
Yeah,
music.
like when you're creating music, what's the music you're listening to that's giving you that?
Oh,
I wanna
right,
do
yeah.
this?
Oh man, I love all styles.
Yeah.
But I love Human Nature, and then I love Metallica, and then I love I just love music. I can find a talent or something in most genres, in all genres of music.
Yeah.
And respect it
And respect it, yeah.
All right, quick cut. Funny story. The song I released today, at the time we're filming this, is song 99. So that's what actually inspired me to do the EP, because the song that's coming out after that is song 100, which is going to be the first one for the project, and then the whole project is basically going to be song 100 together. So, but to think that it's that many reps, that's nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So
I did do
good.
50 in 1 year, but then every fortnight, it adds up, man.
With me, well, you write something every week, but do you find that your best songs are written really quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of Mood by 24K Golden, Why You Always in the Mood? That they reckon they wrote that in 20 minutes.
Yeah, you hear that a lot with the big hits are written boom.
Because you just feel it, and there's just something there that you just and some you've got to push, and that's where you get a lot of your progress from, I think, as a songwriter, where you're like, oh, this hurts my head because I can't think of something for it.
Yeah.
And then you kind of extend a bit and reach, and that improves your skills. But if you've already got the skills there and the idea comes to your head through an instrumental or through something you've gone through, that should be quick. You know? So that's always exciting when that happens. And the way I explain that is that's because it's just going through me.
Yeah.
It's just universe, me, and then this song, if it could be something that's out in front of us, it's literally just I'm the vessel, and it's just gone, I've got the signal, and it's just gone song.
Yeah.
So that's so cool to think about, hey, when those ones happen. There's definitely 2 of them on the EP. No, actually 3 of them on the EP that are that just came to us, me and Lee. There's one track called Digits on there, and we were in here, and we were, I think, 6 or 7 hours in here making beats.
Wow.
And then we were like, bro, we're hermits. We've been in here way too long. We need to get out. And then he went out to get some food, and I made one more beat. I was looking for samples. I don't know why, but I made one more beat. And then he turned around, he was like, this is fucking crazy, bro. So then we stayed in here for another 2 hours, and I did the beat, and we did the song. We wrote it way quicker than that, but we were just kind of going back and forth with verses and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the song was just done like that, but we were exhausted, man.
Yeah, man.
And it still just came to us somehow.
I love that.
It's so funny how that works. I'll play it to you guys afterwards.
Yeah, definitely.
It's sick. But yeah, I'm excited. But I want to go back to you, bro. Just more of the what's next and
I remember you
what's coming
saying
up.
about the sport thing as well. So once I got the podium with OCR, I kind of went back to Ninja for a bit, and then I had a similar kind of. I felt that this triggered on a flying bar, big flying bar catch. That Anyway, so I went from flying bar this way, mixed grip, to the other mixed grip.
Yeah.
So I was this bicep or whatever.
Was it in a comp or training?
It was training at Gav's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had the big jump, and I remember I caught it, a massive jump, but I caught it quite straight arm.
Yeah.
And then it really jolted. I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
It's for you, Joe. This is that one where you have the bar and you like throw it into other cups.
Yeah,
You, like, hold on to the bar.
I can see where the biceps going to be having
Yeah,
a fun time
yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
so
going
that-
straight arm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I think that's what triggered it, I think.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But so yeah, anyway, I was back on the flying bar at Ninja with the new one that was up there, and I felt something
Yeah.
on this arm. Felt something, and I was like, there and then was the decision was made. I was like, Ninja's done.
Yeah,
I
true.
was just like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not going through that again.
So you don't do Ninja now? Is that what you're saying? With this?
I don't
is
do Ninja now.
Okay,
So
yeah.
and then, what was the next transition? Well, CrossFit was obviously the next transition. So,
Yeah.
I remember chasing better. I think Tash was doing something for chasing better, apparel wise.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then she
yeah.
went and did a CrossFit class.
Yeah.
As soon as she finished it, she like called and she's like,
You gotta
"Fox,
come and do this. Yeah.
You'll fucking love this," because I love cardio and
And needed something new.
yeah, I think I started it as I was doing my running training for that Red Dust. So
Yeah.
I kind of did a little bit of CrossFit, but my main focus was at OCR. So once that was done, I just went full CrossFit.
Yeah.
And I just think it suits my body type better than. And in Ninja, I was fighting to keep the weight off because it's better to be lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with CrossFit, like without even
wanna
trying, I
pack
just
it
stacked on like 8-10 kilos.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just from all the legs and the shoulders.
Yeah.
And it's a pain cave that I weirdly enjoy probably more than the running pain cave.
Yeah,
you know
true.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I still think back to like 3K, 5K time trials. And I'm like,
Yeah.
the-
Stings.
It's different, man. And
Yeah.
But yeah, the CrossFit pain cave is. I wouldn't say it's more enjoyable, but for some reason I just
Yeah.
like that.
And now it's
space
only
more.
been not even 2 years, really, right? And
Not
you've,
even 2 years,
You've
yeah.
already done Masters comps in Melbourne, which you came second in,
Yeah,
and won a couple here, right, as
Yeah.
well.
yeah,
Fucking nuts, bro.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think having the strength background, the gymnastics kind of ninja background helped
Yeah.
with the gymnastics side of things. It was more the barbell work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the technical side of ollie lifting that
Yeah.
that I've been working really hard at.
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's slowly coming now. So that's just there's so much in CrossFit. That's what I
Yeah.
love about it, and I think that's why I
So
think
much
it's
to work
probably
on.
going to be.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, my goal's now CrossFit Games. Even if I'm 55,
Yeah,
yeah.
I want to
Don't
get to the CrossFit
Do it,
Games.
bro. Imagine.
But the whole lead up to it, the discipline, what you go through to have to persevere through, to now be in another sport, to learn, adapt, discipline, like just such different space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
even through all of this changing, bro, and what I like about you so much is that you've still kept all these groups together. Like, you just had your party and you've just brought people from CrossFit, from Ninja, from like running, from just so many different places, and you just want to keep people together.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I don't know, like what you're, I guess it's not even a mindset, it's just the way you are, where you just want everyone to be happy and everyone to be together. And I just feel that genuine effort from you, just to be like, I don't want anything from you, I just want people to be happy, and
Yeah.
you know,
And to
which is
succeed, yeah.
and to succeed. It's just so cool, man.
Thanks, man.
And so I guess that's not even a question, really, that's more just a statement. But yeah,
I appreciate
it, bro.
that. No,
Yeah.
appreciate that.
And that's again why I've hung around in the Ninja crew and the CrossFit crew, and it's cool. It's cool to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, and that's why I have like good big birthdays every year. Like,
Yeah.
it's not for me. It's like
Community.
it gets everyone together.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like
Good
and
excuse.
every time I like. Well, I don't even have to bring it up sometimes. They're like, oh, your birthday's coming up, Fox. It's like, they just
Yeah.
expect it and they save the day. And I love that,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah. Hey, we have this segment at the end of the podcast
Yeah.
where we kind of like try to make a, what would you call it? Like a measurable goal that we want to work towards, rather than just like a lot of this is like when I do the intro, I'm like, hey, we want you to chase your dreams and we want to inspire you to do more. But also that's a bit like wishy-washy in a sense. So we want to always end on a note of like, right, what are we working towards? How close are we to it? And how are we trying to get there? So I'll give you an example of mine first. I want 500,000 streams over this span of the year, and a collective of 50,000 followers grown from the year, whether it's over, it doesn't have to be on one platform, but just in general as an audience, so
Yeah.
on Instagram or TikTok, whatever it is. And I feel like that's a good concrete goal to go towards, to give me a good springboard to continue getting close to making this a business and making my dream a reality, so I don't know if you've got anything like in your head, or maybe you have a think about it and try to
Yeah.
make something concrete to leave, that hopefully inspire other people that are maybe into CrossFit or fitness to be like, yeah, maybe I'll go for that goal,
Yeah, well, I guess where I'm at now with CrossFit is I'm entering the RX field now. You know, whether it's masters or we got an upcoming team comp next month that we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, RX.
For you guys that don't know, there's like tiers to the CrossFit competitions, and RX is like the top tier and the standard, right? That they put towards these competitions, and you start is it beginners, intermediate, RX. Yeah. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. No, right. So, yeah.
Just
I did
in
my
RX.
I did my first RX masters comp, and I came like I think 18th or 17th, you know, out of 25 or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like you're starting again. It's the big boy weights and you know, seasoned CrossFitters,
athletes. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess in that realm, trying to move further up the ladder in the RX.
Yep.
And maybe, you know, at least make semi-finals for the CrossFit Open.
Yep.
Which I was only just short of this year.
Yep.
And then maybe getting close to like a Torian Pro debut or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, for my age group. So that's probably CrossFit wise, and then comedy wise, it's the new show which we've been trying to write for. Well, it's been in the wings for 3 years.
So make it to Torian. Is there a timeline on that?
Probably a year.
Make it to Torian in a year. Debut the new show in a year.
Yeah.
Sick.
So not like they're kind of short-term goals, but
that's what we want, mate. We actually, I forgot to mention the rule as well. It's actually a year long because you know 5-year goals, I guess, is a little bit of a different story as well.
Stretch,
But I was like, right, this is. I think we started it in Feb or something, and I was like, right, this Feb to next Feb, this is what I want. You know, and what was yours, Jay?
Mine was metric wise around the shop, hitting 25 grand over a 7-day turnaround, which we hit, and then it was more personal wise with just posting content on Instagram to kind of slowly start building up that media engagement. Just get to 1,000 followers as that first brick in the road. But last rule to that one was not just what the goal was in that year's span, but like what your intentions were to reach that. How are you going to reach that goal, and how are you going to reach that comedy goal? What were the plans in play you do between here and then to get there?
Yeah, so I mean,
it's a lot with CrossFit, right? It's like Ollie Coach.
Yeah, Ollie Coach. I've tried like Mayhem. I'm currently doing Underdogs, so there's different like programs I can follow. Just to get a good mix of everything, plus the chasing better workouts and that. So yeah, it's just
staying disciplined on this workout. Yeah,
staying disciplined, working on the weaknesses, but also maintaining and strengthening the strengths as well. So I think I've done it long enough now to know the balance of what I need to work on. The most. And I think this injury has kind of gone. I'll try and turn things into a positive and go, okay, maybe I think I was putting too much pressure on myself with the music to write and like, I have to release the song and like, where I think maybe I can take a back seat on that stuff for now and focus on the fitness and the comedy.
Exactly what those goals are, right? So it's that little miracle in the costume, isn't it?
Yeah,
pretty much. Look at it like that. True. So
and then comedy wise, it's just we've literally just put a plan in place to get together. We used to get together like when we started twice a week for like 15 years, you know, and then it went to once a week, and then we just
life,
just life, and now it's just like by text and stuff like that. So now we're going to get together once a week, and start putting these little, you know, skits. Notes and skits into play and building it up. You know?
I'm so keen to see it. If any of you guys are in the Perth area, got to go down the Comedy Lounge. I feel like I haven't been to any other shows, but the Comedy Lounge is just a sick vibe as well. And then to be presented with that as a headline show is just hilarious, man. I really enjoyed it. So
there's always good acts there, and the Frios put on a Friday show now. So they got one show Friday, one show Saturday, whereas the city venues 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. And there's also there's a bunch of others like Oasis Comedy Club's a fun one. Sometimes at the Brisbane Hotel. You know, small little. That's the first place we ever gigged. And we called ourselves Neapolitan back then.
Yeah, right.
Well done.
I'm the brown one, obviously. Chocolate. But yeah, definitely if you want to laugh, for sure.
Come down. And if you want to go, hit me up as well. I'll go down with you.
Sons of Fred, S-U-N-S. People always get that wrong, which we probably should have changed that years ago.
Oh, okay, instead of S. Yeah.
S-O-N-S, I think people look for that.
S-U-N-S. Yeah, of Fred.
Of Fred.
Fred, thank you, bro.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. You too.
And got heaps of love for you. And
same.
Let's do it again sometime.
Sounds good,
Let's
bro.
get it cranking. This has been episode 14, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in episode 15. Peace.